Hey guys, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another episode of Out of the Park 23 here with the Oakland Athletics. I got the face cam on for a second just while we do the intro here, and I'm going to shut it off once we get going. But once again, I want to thank everybody for all of the support for the first two episodes of this Let's Play. It has been, for my channel, crazy. The first video already has over 4,200 views. The second video passed 1,000 early this morning. I've added about 150-ish new subs over the last 5 days. So just absolutely crazy. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And even to people who aren't subscribing or liking the videos or leaving comments, whatever, thank you for just poking in. It means a lot to me. So with this being episode 3, I'm going to ask one more time that you hit the like button, you leave a comment. You know, let's keep this momentum going. It is appreciated. So with that said, let's jump into episode 3. And episode 3 is going to be July. We are just going to get through international free agency, trade deadline, and the first year player draft. So we are 33 and 45. We are in last place in the West, 10 games out of first place. Not anticipating us to be very competitive this year. The offense has been terrible. The starting pitching has been terrible. Our bullpen's been pretty good. And our defense has been very good, as I thought it would be, with Andrews and Allen on the infield, and then Pache, Trammell, and Laureano in the outfield, and Sean Murphy behind the dish. I anticipated our defense would be very, very good, and it has been so far. So we've got international signing. Actually, let's look at player development real quick. I mean, not that we don't really care about most of these players, right? So, I mean, hopefully we can get some random talent bumps, and hopefully the players we have on our roster don't continue to decline. You know, but nothing here is super impressive. Jorge Juan got a little better. That's kind of nice, but that control is going to limit what he's capable of. 2 really good pitches, though. So, I mean, he could be a potential bullpen piece or something like that down the road. But, yeah, it's the draft coming up is really going to sort of not make or break us, because it's still early. Oh, Joey Estes got better. That's kind of nice. It's not going to make or break us because it's year number 1, but obviously we want our first draft to be successful. So one of the questions I had left in the last video was what we should do. We had a couple of trade offers where we put Kemp and Frankie Montas in. That's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to do this multiplayer package. And these are some of the deals that came up. And there were a couple that interested me, and now they're not offering us. I'll have to go back and take a look, because St. Louis was offering us John Flaherty. Not John Flaherty. Yeah, Jack Flaherty, excuse me. John is catcher from the 80s and 90s. Jack Flaherty was being offered up. We had this offer from the White Sox for Moncada, Abreu, and Keuchel. It's not a terrible deal here, picking up Eflin, Castellanos, and Segura. I mean, that's a lot of money. I mean, I can't take on $40 million in contracts. Actually, it looks like there are some new deals here. None of them are all that good. Yeah, none of those are. And this one's not terrible. But Darvish is still expensive. Will Myers is still expensive. What if we went here? What if we looked at multi-prospect packages? Because really that's what it's about, right? Is just picking up some young talent. Well, this is a whole lot of trash. All right, so let's go to St. Louis, because the overwhelming majority of people said that this is the deal that I should try to pursue, was Flaherty for Kemp and Montas. That's why, because they're over budget now. Okay. So if we retain on Kemp. Okay. So I want to see if we can make this happen for one of these players with some kind of flotsam and jetsam added in, and then see if we can use the other player to trade. So yeah, we must be joking. So what if we do it the other way? So they want Langley A in addition to Montes for Flaherty, which I'm not prepared to do. Seth Brown has lost his lineup spot, so can we add him? I mean, I got no problem retaining money on both of these guys. Yeah, like these are all the players I don't want to trade. Flaherty's 26. His ARB number is like $6 million, $6.5 million. I mean, if we did something like that, and then yeah, I mean, I can give you Norge Ruiz. Can we add anything to this? Give me Genesis Cabrera. Put on your big boy pants. Let's look at their prospects. And they won't give us Walker or Gorman or Liberatore. I like Burleson's kind of meh. Malcolm Nunez. It's all about our pitching. I think defensively, Brian Ramos isn't terrible. He's only 20. That side is still considering. So I could give you David Leal, and get Flaherty and Ramos. Ow, sorry. I'm getting a little squirmy here on Monday. So David Forst, and I just crashed the game. Bear with me just a second, guys. I'll learn eventually not to click on my assistant GM when I'm in the trade screen. Thankfully, we hadn't really gone anywhere, so I'm just going to have to rebuild that trade. Hadn't simmed ahead at all. That's not the right league either. Oh boy, it is definitely Monday. I'm going to pull up my Red Sox save. So give me a second while we switch over to the A's. Get back into that trade offer and see if we can continue to add pieces from St. Louis. Because I like the way that's building right now. Get a 20-year-old third baseman with some pop. I mean, he's not that good, but he at least has some... I can't do it from here. All right, so I got to go in. Trade, initiate trade, St. Louis. So it was... Where is he? Nunez and Flaherty for Montas. Where is Montas? There he is. Montas. I don't remember like all the players that they wanted. They wanted Montas. They wanted Juan. They wanted Leal, right? Leal, L-E-A-L. And Ruiz. All right, so this is where the deal was when we left off. Our assistant GM doesn't like it, but we'd be picking up Malcolm. No, it wasn't even Malcolm Nunez. It was somebody else. It was a different third baseman. It was, where is he? 20-year-old Brian Ramos. So 20-year-old with some potential power. He's okay defensively, but the big piece here obviously is Flaherty. So we flip Flaherty essentially for Montas and Juan. So Montas isn't as good as Flaherty. Juan is kind of that additional piece. What if we remove him? Yeah, okay. So what else can we add to this, if anything? Luis Pino? Add Jeff Criswell. We get Pino, who's only 18 years old, has really good eye and discipline. I mean, he could turn into anything, but this is a lottery ticket type pick. If his personality, he's got the high work ethic, he's got a good batting eye. What else? What else can we squeeze out of St. Louis for our junk? Mason Wynn? They wouldn't give me Mason Wynn. Yeah, wasting my time. Andre Pallante, extreme ground ball pitcher, which in Oakland isn't a huge deal, but I think I'm actually okay doing this. So Montas and Juan are the two big pieces, and then I don't care about Leal, Ruiz, or Criswell. And we get back Flaherty, and then a couple of young prospects to hopefully build up our minor league. So I'm good with this. I think we're going to pull the trigger on this trade and bring in Jack Flaherty to be our new ace. Let's get him out there right away. He is our new ace. So we have a legit ace starter now. 26 years old. Okay, so let's look. I think it's probably just has this year and next year, I would imagine. Yeah. So we still have time to lock him up. But that works for me. That absolutely 100% works for me. So we're going to sim a couple of days, and then we're going to see what we can get for Kemp and maybe some of these other players as well. I mean, the trade block isn't going to be super effective for us because it's going to be all older players right now, which we have no need for or desire for. So let's take a look at international amateurs. We only have $2.5 million for international amateurs right now, and there's not a whole hell of a lot here. Which I found to be the issue with year one of your saves. For whatever reason, the game doesn't develop a ton of international players. Not really sure why. But all we have is $2.5 million, so I don't really even think I want to spend it. I think I'd rather just hang on to it. I don't think any of these guys are even worth the 2.5. I mean, De Los Santos is, but he wants 4.6. So, I mean, I can see if he'll take 2.5. My guess is he won't. Yeah. Wait. Oh, we have the money because we have... So can we offer him 5? Is he worth $5 million, though? Plus, he has plus power potential. Fails to make contact regularly. Yeah, I mean, he's already 19. I don't know that that's worth $5 million if you're the Oakland A's. I don't think it is. I'm going to hold on to our money. And we are going to... we'll probably get up to the draft. We'll do the draft, and then we'll figure out the rest of our trades post. Actually, let's just see... Let's see what interest there is in a Tony Kemp. And I'd like to just get prospects, since we didn't really get, and we got a couple of decent prospects for Flaherty, but nothing, it wasn't a prospect package. It was a John Flaherty with a couple of potential lottery tickets attached. So I'd prefer to turn Kemp around for actual prospects, but I don't know that that's... Doesn't look like that's going to be a thing here, as they're all offering me relievers. Yeah, I want batters. Jose Herrera. beer. He's down to 2 stars. Not really a prospect anymore. And a whole lot of poop. That's some bad stuff right there. All right. So nobody is willing to give up a prospect. At least 1 for 1. I mean, we'll be able to work. I mean, there are clearly deals here. So, you know, maybe find somebody who is... Like, I just started a Let's Play on the GM Games channel, and I picked up the Diamondbacks. And Jordan Luplow against lefties is a masher. I mean, those ratings are phenomenal against lefties. He would likely be our designated. I mean, he's 28 years old, though. I mean, if he was 26, I would probably jump all over a deal like that. But at 28, I don't know. I mean, he has hit 15 home runs, put up a .537 slugging percentage in Arizona. Those numbers are going to be muted, of course, in Oakland because of our ballpark. So that's something to keep in mind as well. Bobby Dahlbeck. Really, I'm looking for like under 27. You know, if I can find somebody who is 26 or under who can fit into our lineup, it's kind of what I'm looking for. And so far, not a lot of options. Hae-Sung Kim, but he's expensive. Yeah, I might have to do some digging and find a deal that works, but that's going to be after the draft. So let's go ahead and start simming ahead. First game in Seattle against the Mariners is a 7-0 loss. It's Adam Oler. So when is Flaherty starting? Today. Okay. All right. Now here we go. Let's see how Flaherty does in his debut. We lose 5-1. He gives up 3 in the second. So he gives up 5 in 5. That's not good. Tremella's up to 300, though. Last game of the series against Seattle. Excuse me. Is another loss. We lose 3 out of 4 to the Mariners. Now we're on the road against Toronto. And we win 12-11 in look at that 9th and 10th innings. This was a relative pitchers duel going into the 9th. It was 4-3 Oakland going into the 9th. They scored 5 in the top of the 9th. We scored 4. They scored 3 in the 10th. We scored 4. 12-11. Trammell drives in 5. Laureano has a couple of hits. Andrews has 3 hits. You like to see it. Kaprelian pitched well. Puck got smoked really for the first time this year. He pitched really. ERA 1.37 prior to that outing. Win's a win, though, right? Not going to look a gift horse in the mouth, as they say. Game 2 against the Blue Jays at home is another win. So our midseason goals, mediocre job performance, met. You don't see an improvement at third base, neither do I. Top 100 prospects, we don't have anybody. Same basic list. Rushman. Actually, it's a little different. Looks like some of the players have made the bigs here. Rushman, Rodriguez, Green, Alvarez. Noelvi Marte, the number 5 prospect in baseball. Moreno, Leiter, Yuri Perez, Max Meyer, and O'Neill Cruz. All right, so we win 5-3. Trammell keeps hitting, up to 314 with 8 home runs now. Laureano hits his 12th. Like to see that average come up a bit. Pache's down to 224. Jeffrey's hurt. Yep, he sure is. Bullpen game. Bullpen continues to pitch well. That's 4 1/3, 5. That's 6 innings of shutout baseball once you got past Supak. We'll see how long Jeffries is out for. Day-to-day for a day. Jed Lowry wants to be traded. I would love to trade Jed Lowry. So we know that Jed Lowry and Stephen Voigt both want to be traded. I can't imagine there's going to be any interest in the two of them, but we will package 2 of them and we'll offer them up to. Oh, okay. What do we want? I mean, do we want to? We don't need another Charlie Culberson? I mean, he's got... I mean, there's a ton of flexibility there. He's not particularly good, but a ton of flexibility. Can play really anywhere on the diamond except for catcher. Can hit lefties reasonably. And if we do this, then we can call up Langelier and get that kind of that clock moving. So what else can we get from Texas? So we'll trade them 2 players who won out of Oakland, which I'm fine with, and bring somebody else in. Kyle Muller. Get real. Do we have another lottery ticket type? Zavala? Meh. Not really. Their minor league system's pretty garbage. Thomas Sagisi. And I like him because he's young. That's about it. What about Julio Pinto? Throw in a player who can really contribute. I don't want to throw in a player who can really contribute. That's the whole point of this. Osuna. Another 19-year-old. 0 chance. Okay. They won't give up Ian. Well, Muller's not particularly good. Gutierrez, they likely won't give up. Yeah, you don't think so. I mean, I don't mind the Julio Pinto thing. Ugh. Do I have a player that I don't care about that I can just throw your way to try to tilt things here a little bit? Max Schumann. He's a captain. I like the captain. We may need that at some point if things start to go sideways for us. Carlos Amaya. Estiskin, Hoglund, Langlier. No, I'm fine with that. We'll do this and this. So Culberson for Lowry and Voit. And then we make Culberson our round of the diamond guy, get him a couple of starts a week, and we bring up Langlier. Let's pull the trigger there. That works. And we will call up Shea Langlier, put Culberson on the roster, and let's reset things here a little bit. So Langlier will back up Murphy. Play like every 4th game. We'll do that against both lefties and righties. All right, so Culberson. This is also, I think, I mean, he's 33, so, I mean, he's really not that good, but this could also be a precursor to potentially trading Pinder, who's 30, and sort of in that same role. So Culberson, who's the better infielder? Range, 52, 72, 59, 58. And Pinder's actually the better infielder. So Culberson will back up and right. Pinder will back up at short. Culberson will back up at... Well, Allen will back up at first. And Allen will be our backup DH. Culberson will get the start every 5th game there, every 10th game there, and then against lefties, Culberson's actually going to start at 3rd. Yeah, he can start at 3rd. His bat against lefties is actually reasonable, and I'm fine leaving him in the 2-hole. All right, so we still have a couple of more players that we need to look to move. I don't want to move Andrews just yet. I mean, that's a terrible contract. The team option for next year is going to get declined, yeah, without a doubt. And at that point, yeah, we get nothing for him. So the question is, can we get anything useful for him? Like, I don't want to trade him just to trade him, but if we can get something useful for Andrews, I will. But I think Kemp is definitely on the block to be gone. And then we'll see what's available for the rest of the pitching staff here. All right. So now we can get up to the draft. I didn't think we were going to make another deal before the draft, but Jed Lowry demanding to be traded. We can send him to another bad situation in Texas. And home against Houston is a 7-4 win. So the Mets want to send us Dom Smith in exchange for Adam Oler and Brian Ramos, who we just picked up. And wow, Ramos actually got better with the additional scouting. So let's disable that. I don't hate the idea of bringing in Dominic Smith. Our number's only $4 million, but I don't want to give up either of those players for him. We'll take a look at that in a second. So we get the win here. Kemp has a couple of hits. Trammell has 2 RBIs. Flaherty goes 7 1/3. There we go. All right, let's go back to that deal and let's discuss it. I'm not giving you Ramos, and I'm not giving you Oler. So if we start from scratch, it's Jeffries, Laureano, Murphy, Pesce. Jeffries up to 3.5 stars. Cool. All right. So, I mean, how old is Dom Smith? 26, 27? He's 27. Okay. And that would immediately give us another bat in the lineup. He's not a very good first baseman. I'm not crazy about giving up a ton here for him, but maybe we can do something around Seth Brown and Dominic Smith. That doesn't change things at all, but that's where I would kind of be willing to start from major league talent. In the minors, wouldn't mind giving up a Jordan Diaz. I mean, he's 21, but he's already Rule 5 eligible. Yeah, I don't want to give you any of those players. Madero is 25. He'll be on the 40-man next year. How did he turn out? He's still average. Let's get a scouting report on Luis Pino. Yeah, I don't know. Let's offer Brown and Diaz for Dom Smith and see what they come back to us with. I mean, I wouldn't mind picking him up. You know, he's not going to cost a lot of money, and he's a good bat. You know, we can hide the defense at first base given what the rest of our defense looks like. So I'm not averse to picking up a bad fielding first baseman. Game 2 at home against Houston. It's another win. So we've won 4 out of 5 here. Murphy with a couple of RBIs. Laureano has a hit and an RBI. Feigl gets the start and he gets hurt. Supak pitches well. Jimenez pitches well. Ginn gives up a couple of runs. That's fine. So it said almost. So what did they want us to add? Players I'm not willing to give up. All right, so let's... Who am I willing to move? Buelvas looks like at worst he's a slap-hitting backup outfielder. Lawrence Butler has some pop, and he looks like a halfway decent first baseman. But I might be willing to do that. Yes, it doesn't change things at all. I need something that changes what they come back to us. Like, Zach Geloff. I don't like his work ethic and all that stuff. Let's add Geloff and see if that changes anything. So we've won 4 out of 5. We are, 4-4 this month. Looking for the sweep of the Astros, and we get it. And we lose Feigl for 12 to 13 months. Yuck. Okay, so who is going to come up? Zach Logue? Yeah, we don't have a lot of depth. Yeah, I guess we'll call up Zach Logue. No, I want to call up Wanderson Charles. Where is he? Right there. And we will make Supak the number 2 starter. I like Charles just because of the potential stuff and movement. He doesn't know where the ball's going, but good stuff and good movement. We win 5-1. Langlia hits his first career Major League home run. Way to go, Shea. Goes 2 for 4 in his first big league start. Nick Allen, a couple of hits, 3 RBIs. Pinder, 3 hits. Caprellian pitches well. Bullpen does the job again. All right. I'm going to save real quick just so I don't crash the game and lose everything like I've done twice over the last 24 hours now. I crashed here earlier, and then I crashed yesterday doing my live stream for GM Games. All right, so we've got the draft now. We are picking 19th. It thinks we are going to take Judd Fabian, who was a second-round pick of the Red Sox last year, and they didn't sign him. Really good defensively, good speed. Question is, will he hit enough? But very, very good defensively. So I think Robbie Snelling is going to go number 1 overall. Yeah, I mean, and is Elijah Green really going to drop to 14? I mean, that's crazy. Where does it have? Wow, has Kumar Rocker going almost at the end of the second round. How the mighty have fallen. All right, let's start the draft. Let's do all players. Let's just do default. Okay. All right, so Baltimore with the number 1 pick takes Tamar Johnson, as I probably would have too. $13 million demand, though, for Tamar Johnson. Arizona takes Drew Jones. Again, another good option. $13.5 million for Drew Jones. Texas, Elijah Green. $11 million for Elijah. It's going a little bit more like I would have anticipated here. Pittsburgh, Robert Moore. Ew, okay. Washington, Cole Young. Good middle infielder. All right, so that's the first 5. So let's just auto-pick to our pick. Not taking a reliever, but he's really good. If he's there in the second round, that might be an option. I guess let's start with pitching potential. Let's see what is available. Jackson Ferris. A long way to go, though. Only 8 movement. Spencer Miles, ground ball style pitcher. Tristan Smith. Oof. There's not a lot of great pitching here. What if we look at hitters? I think we may end up with a batter here in the first round. This isn't a great draft, guys. Tony Bullard. Who does our scout think we should take? Malcolm Moore, the catcher. We don't need, I mean, he's good, but we don't need another catcher. But you can't draft based on need. You just can't. Or based on, yeah, you can't not draft based on need, I guess I should say. Not a particularly good draft. It's a little disappointing. I've found so far in most of the games that I've played that the first draft is pretty stacked. Now this guy, Kevin Parker Jr. I mean, decent I mean, that's a pretty decent batting profile. He's probably a second baseman with that arm, but high school senior, good gap power. I think maybe Kevin Parker Jr. is our pick. Let's just see what else is here. Yeah, I think it's going to be Kevin Parker Jr. He doesn't want a lot of money, which is good as well, which is also a little concerning, truth be told, because you wonder if, you know, he wants a low demand because he's not particularly good. Let's look at Sal Stewart. I mean, I'm a Sal Stewart, man. I think we go Sal Stewart. Contact's not there, but again, this is the type of profile I like. The high gap power, high home run power, high iron discipline. So I think we're going to take Sal Stewart and hope that Parker falls to us in the second. So Sal Stewart will be the first round pick of the Oakland A's. Let's go ahead and sim to the next pick. Is he still there? Kevin Parker's still there. So I'm not even going to waste any time. I am just going to take Just going to take Kevin Parker here in the second round. All right, third round. I doubt that reliever's still there, but he is. So we're going to take Reed Goleman because that gets us a stud in the bullpen as early as next year. Sinker slider, doesn't throw hard. He's a sidearm sinker slider pitcher in Oakland with 95 stuff. We're going to jump all over that. Fourth round, Carson Palmquist, 38 stamina. I don't know that he's actually going to be a starter with that stamina. But good control, a couple of good pitches. Meh is the best I can use to describe it there. If we look at all players, Hayden Miller looks to probably be the best option now. Wow, he can play all over the place. I dig that. Even catcher. He can even play catcher. Guys, this guy's, if he makes it to the bigs, he's going to be a fan favorite. Literally can play every single position in the field except for pitcher. We are going to take Hayden Miller here with our fourth pick. All right, so now what? Tucker Toman, the highest power bat left. Dakota Jordan. Good power. He's decent defensively. I mean, he can play center field with those ratings. Has some speed. Has a little bit of pop in his bat. Sure. Not crazy about that pick, but I think it's, you start looking for a particular skill set. So let's kind of do our old reliable here. A 29-year-old eligible for the draft. Let's look at pitch potential for some of these players. Colin Baumgartner, he's 23. If he was 18 with these ratings, it might be somebody I consider, but not at 23. Cooper Dossett. 3 potentially good pitches. He's only 18. I'll pass. He doesn't look all that good in this save. Brandon Neek has got... Ugh. Yuck. Jackson Finley, no. Again, there's no real room for growth with that control. Devereaux Harrison. That's an awesome name. Again, the control's too low for a 21-year-old if he was 18 or even 19. Matthew Hoskins. Huh. It's passable with the bat. I mean, he would be an average two-way player, but he's only 18, so who knows? He could turn into anything. We have a little bit extra money because we didn't spend anything on our higher picks. Let's look at fielding ratings. Old reliable. Look at our catching situation. See if we can find ourselves a good defensive catcher. He's 23 already. Tristan Wheelis is only 19. Gabe Briones. I think we take Briones. Briones is a favorite of mine from my Colorado Rockies playthrough from last year. Good defensive catcher, high work ethic, has enough of a hitting profile. We'll take Gabe Briones. Let's look at infield range. Again, looking for young players, looking for the 18, 19-year-olds who have a particular skill set that's decent, like RJ Mayer. Look at his defense. Wow. I mean, with that range, he's a center fielder. Probably going to make a lot of errors, but Marusak I tend to like because he can play a lot of positions. The bat isn't particularly good, but again, middle infield and outfield. Asher Ackridge, 20-year-old, low work ethic. I don't like that. Putting a whole lot of thought into a, whatever this is, 8th round pick at this point. I think we take Marusak. I like his defense. Like his defense around the infield and outfield. Yanel LeBoy. High work ethic. 18-year-old with high work ethic and a decent infield profile. That works for me. Yanel LeBoy. I don't think there's going to be anything of substance left here, but we can look. Tell him 19 years old. Again, the high adaptability, high work ethic, high intelligence. Sure. I think anytime you can find an 18, 19-year-old who has a skill that you like, be it power or contact or whatever it is you're looking for in that particular with that particular pick, if you can find an 18 or a 19-year-old who has that skill but also has like a high work ethic and high intelligence or something like that, I think you jump all over it. Jason Hodges doesn't really fit that profile because he's 21. Everything else was kind of right, but the age, he was a little bit too old for what I like to look for. Jason Torres, high work ethic, high greed, low intelligence. So he's a dummy, but he tries hard. Sure, you never know what you're going to get out of a first baseman. Let's look at this. You know what? I think we go Harrison Didowick. High adaptability, high work ethic, and high intelligence. I like that a lot. And my guess is Torres will probably be there with the next pick, and he is, so we will take him there. So this is a very hitter-heavy draft for us, which is fine. You know, next year could be completely different. Let's go back through this, see what we see. Will Stevens, 20-year-old out of Wichita State. No. Peyton Gubler, that one movement is going to be brutal. High leader, low work ethic. So he's an extreme fly ball pitcher with one movement. He could give up 1,000 home runs a year. Ben Peterson, sure, 4 decent pitches. I mean, he's a really low ceiling, high floor kind of guy, but at this point, actually, it's not my pick. I think we can take Devereaux Harrison here. I like the 3 pitches. I don't think he's ever going to develop into anything of, you know, he's not going to develop into a starter for us, but who knows? I mean, who really knows, I guess. We're on pick 13. I don't normally go this far into it, but I figure with it being the first draft, we'll spend some time. So we're going to take some arms here towards the end because you tend to get those the random talent bumps more with arms, I find, than you do bats. I think we take... I can't take Gubler with that one movement. It's just not... I can't do it. David Falco, he's 21. High adaptability, 3 decent pitches, sure. Carter Shepard, sure. I mean, at this point, we may as well go all the way to 20, right? I mean, we're only 4 picks away. High leader, high adaptability, 2 good pitches, terrible control. He's already 22. Troy Taylor, low work ethic. Start getting into the pitchers who don't have a fastball. Lucas Davenport. Again, that one movement just terrifies me. Daniel Outerkirk. He's 22. The movement's never going to develop, I don't think. Actually, yeah, we'll take him there. And I'm just going to let the AI make the last 4 picks. I think we did an... It wasn't a great draft, and I don't know if that's a function of my scout, because my scout only is good on scouting amateurs, so that may be something that I want to change in the offseason. But he does highly favor tools, so that gives me some optimism, I guess. So negotiate. Yeah, we have a lot of money, thankfully, because none of our draftees are going to ask for a lot. So we will just offer each of them what it is they're asking for, 80 grand for our number 3 pick. That's a steal, man. He could be up on the team next year. Matthew Hoskins, we'll just give him what he wants. All right, so Sal Stewart was our first pick. I don't know if Sal Stewart will develop in 23 like he did in 22. He was never turned into an elite player in 22, but he turned into a useful piece. So I'm hoping more of the same here. Good enough bat. Defense needs some work. He might end up as a first baseman. Kevin Parker Jr. If he ends up with these ratings, I would be thrilled, and he would be a very good starting second baseman for us. Reed Goleman. He'll probably start in Double-A. He looks really, really solid. Sinker slider. Doesn't throw hard, but strikes out a ton of batters. Hayden Miller can play all over the diamond. I love this pick. Dakota Jordan, center fielder or an outfielder with some pop in his bat. And then Matthew Hoskins. So, yeah. Not a great draft, but I guess reasonable. All right, so what do we want to do? We're going to sim add a day or two, and then we will try it. We'll sim through this Texas series. I will sim up to the All-Star break, and then we will see about trading Tony Kemp during the All-Star break. So we lose 10-5. Okay, so this gets us closer, but not close enough that I would add Kemp to this deal if I can get more back from the Mets. I mean, if we added Kemp to this trade, what can we get in return? What do we even need? I mean, we need everything, right? I mean, we need everything. I don't want to give up Matt Allen. I don't necessarily blame them. Brett Beatty. I mean, they wouldn't give him to us, but yeah. Ronnie Mauricio. Circular file. Yeah, I'm not giving up Kemp in this deal without getting something else back. Okay, so, okay. So let's shop Kemp again. And who else did we... I mean, again, we can move really anybody other than Murphy, Flaherty, Laureano, Pache, and Trammell right now because he's hitting. But, I mean, that could change down the road. But pretty much anybody else on the roster is havable, I guess. So what if we added... I mean, there appeared to be some demand for an Aiden Martinez. I mean, he's good, but, I mean, what do we need with a 25-year-old infielder? I mean, in reality. Or a 25-year-old middle reliever. With the way our team is structured right now, we don't really need that. So we can pick up a Jarren Duran, who doesn't look particularly good. Would like to add more pitching. So let's do this. Let's look at pitchers. Soroka. He's out for 4 days. Accuracy is low. I mean, Soroka's not a bad... Soroka's not a terrible idea. If he's healthy... Ground ball pitcher, was a 4-win player in 2019. I mean, that's not a terrible option. John Means, you know what you're getting out of him. This year, nothing. But Cutter Crawford, Corey Abbott. Corey Abbott looks pretty good. 3 really good pitches. A lot of injuries in Cincinnati. Vladimir Gutierrez, no. Christian Javier, Bialik. A lot of average, right? That's what we're getting here is a lot of average, which, I mean, given the way we have trading set up, that's not much of a surprise. I'm kind of digging on the Soroka deal, to be completely honest. He's out for 4 days. I mean, if this is what his ratings are, and not that, I mean, even that, and he's only 24 years old. His ARB number can't be, yeah, he's only eligible, his ARB number is only like 3.3 million. Granted, he's been injured, but his injury proneness is normal. Yeah, I mean, I'm not, like, that's not a terrible deal from my perspective. My GM hates it. Huh. Can we... So let's try to add 2 of these pieces. So Carlos Amaya and Uribiel Angeles. So let's look up those names. Angeles and Amaya. Shoot. I was hoping that if we added a bunch of players that were, you know, because Tony Kemp plus one of these players, I don't care. Like, whatever. Skylar Cisninski for Mike Soroka. I mean, we're taking a chance, but I don't know if that's enough for Kemp. That's the only thing I'm afraid of. So let's go back to shop a player. We're closing in on an hour here, aren't we? Wow, yeah, we are. Okay, so if we take him out and put... There was some interest in Oler too, wasn't there? But I don't want to trade him. We just got him. We need pitching. We absolutely need pitching. I kind of like the Soroka deal. He's only 24 years old. So let's go back here. God, our GM hates it, but I don't. We're rated low on him, but he's got a high work ethic. He's only 24 years old. Good stamina. If he can stay healthy. I mean, if he can even come close to this, I think we're going to do it. We're going to trade Tony Kemp and Skylar Cisninski to the Braves for Soroka. How much of this will they retain? Just to give us a little bit more money. 65-ish%. That's fine. Can we get anything else out of this? Whoa. Yonsi Moreno. Tantalizing offer. Okay. That's fine. 19 years old with just massive home run power. Again, these are the types of deals that hopefully can lead to something. You know, these players can lead to, you know, these 17 and 18-year-olds can develop into something more down the road. Yeah, I'm not willing to give up any of those players. So Mike Soroka and Yonsi Moreno with 65% of Soroka's deal retained. Can we get... So they would retain 65%. Can we get some cash as well? That's an E. That's not a 3. I'm trying to find the limit where it puts that Taiwanese player back in there, not 15 million. Cash is always good. All right, so Soroka, Moreno, and $1 million in cash for Tony Kemp, Chen Zhang Ao Zhuang, and Skylar Cisniski. Gets us a little bit more money, gets us another starting pitcher, and it gets us a potential home run hitting bat. Let's pull the trigger. Yep. So players are disappointed. We have enough captains. Soroka is out for another 4 days, so we'll just leave him right there for now. So we need to call up... And we don't really need to call up anybody. Do we go 14 pitchers, or do we call up another hitter? It truly doesn't matter. Truly doesn't matter. We'll call up Schumann just to get another infielder, since we just traded an infielder. So we're missing a designated hitter here. So against righties, we'll make Allen the designated hitter, and we got to change the lineup. So I don't want him batting there. Trammell is kind of the guy I would like to bat leadoff. He's got the best eye, but the avoid K. And we have literally nobody to lead off. So I think Trammell makes the most sense here given his batting eye. And Culberson will back up as the designated hitter. And then against lefties, we're missing a designated hitter. And we will put Pinder out there at the DH. And I think he's fine leading off given what the rest of our team looks like. So Allen can be the DH every 10th game. Lefty on lefty isn't going to work particularly well. We get Soroka back in a couple of days. Let's get an immediate scouting report on him. We get him back in a couple of days. He's going to need a rehab assignment because he hasn't pitched since the middle of the COVID year. Hopefully there are no setbacks. So let's keep Simmons ahead. 1-0 loss. So we get swept in Texas after sweeping Houston at home. Now we go to Houston for 3 games prior to the All-Star break. There's another loss. Did we get the scouting report on Soroka? Most of our players have agreed to their signing bonus. So let's make sure we disable for Moreno, disable for Pena. Okay, this is what I was hoping, was that the movement that we were closer than OSA was. So I can't put him on a rehab assignment because I did him on the DL. So we got to put him on the 40-man, and I think we're just going to have to stick him on the roster. So who goes down? Justin Grimm has been pretty, well, grim. We're going to send Charles down, and we'll try to make room by trading one or more of these, I guess, fungible, if you will, bullpen arms. All right. So we need to go back in here, and there's Goleman. We will disable. We'll put him in AA. Gleason, we will disable, and we will... Oh, yeah, see, he was our 18th round pick. He already looks better. So we're going to put him in A-ball. Dakota Jordan, Parker will both be disabled, but they'll stay where they are. All right. One more game, or 2 more games for the All-Star break. 3-2 loss, and that's 5 losses in a row now leading into the All-Star break. Andrews wants to be traded, so that's something that we will consider. So Soroka made a start. There we go. He went 4 innings, gave up 2 runs. I will take that. So we lose 6 in a row going into the All-Star break. So who made the All-Star team from Oakland? Danny Jimenez and Adrian Martinez, our 2 bullpen arms. We didn't have a bat make it, which is not a surprise. But 2 pitchers, Danny Jimenez and Adrian Martinez. So 2 pitchers that we may look to move. What about anybody in the prospect game? Soderstrom, and that is it. All right. Okay, so now Martinez and Jimenez both made the All-Star team. I don't think that that's going to make people interested, but we will take a look. No, I mean, there are some names here. I mean, nothing that's super intriguing, but there are names here. We are just looking at pitchers now. Let's switch over to batters. Jordan Luplow's still there, huh? His ARB number goes to 3.8 next year. That's a number we can afford, given that we're going to reject like $30 million worth of team options. And I like his bat. Willie Castro. Vinnie Pasquentino. Wow. He's really bad defensively. Yeah, I mean, I think that's a deal we're going to make, but let me make sure there's nothing else here that I'm missing. All right, let's talk to Kansas City. So, can I do this without giving up either of these players? Probably not without both of them, but so if we start with Seth Brown... Yep, we can do it without both of them. So Seth Brown and Jordan Diaz for Vinnie Pasquentino. And I am 100% okay with this deal. He's a lefty, can hit both lefties and righties effectively. Let's make that happen. Let's bring in a Vinnie Pasquentino. Let's get him right in our lineup. At first base, we will move him up in the lineup as well. We're actually going to bat him cleanup, I think. And then against lefties, he's going to be our first baseman. Smith is going to be our third baseman. We will leave him in the 4-hole. We're going to move Pache up. We'll move all these guys down 1. All right. So let's keep going. I didn't want to sim till next week. I wanted to sim a date. Not that it matters. I don't know if there are going to be any games until next week. All right. So I mean, we've made a couple of deals that I'm pleased with. We pick up Jack Flaherty, Mike Soroka, and Vinnie Pasquentino here in this episode. I don't know. I mean, we can see if anybody's willing to give us anything for Elvis Andrus. But again, I'm not going to trade him just to get him off the roster. He still has value. He can still play defense. He's a captain, which, considering we're not playing particularly well, is important. So let's get up about a week, and then we will kind of make a not a last-ditch effort, but a last effort to see what, if anything, is available to pick up in a deal. We got a double header coming out of the All-Star game against Detroit. Cole Irvin is eligible to come off the injured list, which is good. Justin Grimm. Let's just see if anybody's willing to give us anything for Grimm. No, we're going to DFA him. Okay. So there is some Justin Grimm interest, which I did not expect. Could we pick up a JD Martinez and ask the Sox to retain? Not that we're, like... in it, but can they retain it? Let's just see. I mean, if they will eat JD Martinez's entire contract, I'll make that trade. But for now, there wasn't anything else there. I mean, for now, we will, I don't know, send down Guerra. Will he go down? He's 33. Yeah, he won't. Okay. Supak's terrible. He's pitching well, but he is terrible. I'll just send him down. It's fine. Injury list. Irvin. Piscotty's still on the 60-day. Let the AI set that up. We got Sal Stewart signed. We got Hayden Miller signed. So I think that's everybody now, right? It is, yep. All right, so how is Stewart doing out of the chute? Hasn't played yet. Okay. Pitching. I think we leave our rotation the way it is. And we have Irvin as a long relief. Because our rotation, the stats aren't great, but those are our 5 best starters, I think. All right, so we got a doubleheader coming out of the All-Star game at home against Detroit. And we win them both. Wow, we win 5-3 and 5-3. So game 1, Laureano hit a home run. Trammell homers, Smith homers, Laureano homers. Flaherty goes 5, strikes out 10, picks up the win. And in game 2, Laureano with a couple of RBIs, Smith with another home run, Jeffries goes 6, picks up the win. All right, win 2 in a row out of the All-Star break. I like it. See if we get a response from the Red Sox. Yeah, they want our best players. Although, yeah, I'm not trading any prospects to pick up JD Martinez. I'm good. Let's go back to here. And let's shop them around and let's just see if there's any prospect at all. No. What about regulars? I think we may be done with we got to look at Andrews, but I think we may be done. Yeah, I don't want any of those players. All right, so let's remove him. Let's look at Andrews. Let's look at prospects. No prospects. Regulars. Okay, so Andrews is with us till the end of the year. So I think we're done making moves. So let's just go ahead and sim to the end of the month. 5-2 loss at home against Texas. 9-1 loss at home against Texas. And we get swept at home by the Rangers. They've beaten us 6 games in a row here over the last week and a half. At home again against the Astros. 4-3 victory. So the Astros want to send us Rafael Montero and Corey Lee for Sheldon News and Pedro Pineda. Yeah, I'm not doing that. I am not doing that. Who got the start here? So Andrews goes 3 for 5. Laureano goes 2 for 4. Each have 2 RBIs. Flaherty goes 3 2/3 innings. For some reason, only throws 70 pitches. Another game against the Astros at home. We've had some success against Houston at home. I'm not sure why, but we've had some success against Houston at home. Trammell is averaged down to 242, 2 for 4 with an RBI. Murphy, it's his 10th home run of the year. Jeffries goes 8 strong. Last game against Houston, 9-5 loss. Last 3 games of the month on the road against the White Sox. Piscotty's eligible to come off the DL. We'll put him on a rehab assignment. I don't want to have to deal with that until I have to deal with it. So, second game against the White Sox is a 3-1 victory in 10. So we get a 2-run hit from Pinder in the 10th inning. Oler pitches well. Puck gets another save. And the final game of the month on the road against the White Sox. Yeah, Soroka's been bad so far. It's a 13-6 victory. So Flaherty, 5 2/3, gives up 4 runs but gets the win. We get 2 home runs from Laureano, Pasquentino homers, Pache homers. How's Pasquentino doing for us? 273, 2 home runs, 6 RBIs. He's been fine. Pache, 4 runs knocked in. And so we go to the All-Star, or we go to the end of August, 44 and 60. So we get, let's take a look at player development. So Soroka has not been good. But again, he hasn't pitched in a year and a half. So this isn't a surprise. Just let him work through it. Ground ball pitcher, good stamina, good movement, good control. I think he'll be fine. Jeffries gets a little better. Ginn gets a little better. Langley gets a little better. Allen up to 3 stars now. His bat gets a little better. Trammell gets worse. Yeah, I don't know that he's a long-term solution, but you know, you ride it as long as you can, right? And that is, he's now below a 100 OPS plus, but he's a captain, very good defensively, so at worst, he's a 4th outfielder, at worst. Pache's offense continue. If you can get that average up to like 250, if you can hit 250 in the bigs, he's a 5-win player for us. Goleman gets better. Yeah. He's going to be probably our closer next season. Brett Harris. Okay. All right. So let's take a look at our team and where we stand. So let's start with pitching. So I think we made a couple of moves this year to improve our pitching staff long term. We've got Flaherty now, who's 26, Soroka, who's 24, at the top of our rotation. If Soroka can turn into the Soroka that he was with Atlanta, we found ourselves a gem. It may take him a while to get there, but I'm hopeful that with Soroka and Flaherty as our 1-2, we'll be in pretty good shape. Kaprelian has been fine. Dalton Jeffries has actually been quite good this year. He's good for almost 2 WAR already. And Adam Oler's been fine as our 5th. Puck and Ginn at the back end of our rotation, or at the back end of our bullpen, have been quite good. Very happy with what we're getting there. And then the rest of our bullpen has been okay. I mean, it's been, you know, Grimm hasn't been particularly good, but every other pitcher on our roster has been a plus WAR player this year. Yeah, some really good ERA pluses on our team. Danny Jimenez, 183 ERA plus this season in 55 innings. He's been terrific. So much so that we want to use more often and high leverage, I think. Grimm we will use less often. And then lineups. Pasquentino, so far for us, 2 home runs, 6 RBIs, so you can't really factor that WAR in because most of that's with Kansas City. Sean Murphy, a lot of his WAR is derived from his defense, but he still has chipped in with 11 home runs. Same thing with Pache and Laureano and Andrews, for that matter. Most of their WAR is derived from their defense. But, I mean, we're hitting some home runs and we're scoring some runs, not a ton, but we're scoring some runs. We are dead last in the American League in runs scored. Our starters have still been bad. So nothing here has really changed. Our offense has been bad. Our starters have been bad. Our bullpen has been good. That's the way we came into this. Defensively, we're one of the best teams in baseball, not just the American League, in baseball. Has our minor league system changed at all? We are 21st. Langley, Hogland, Estes now in the top 100, and Soderstrom. So that's good. And I guess we'll just look at the pipeline, see where we stand. Yeah, none of our picks are on here yet. They may show up there down the road. So, yeah. So we are at the end of July, 44 and 60, 13 and a half games behind the Seattle Mariners. So next episode will likely be the end of the regular season and our very first offseason. I will probably sim through August offline. We'll come back and it will be September 1st, and then I'll sim the rest of the season and then get into the off season where hopefully we'll be able to make a little bit of a run. Right now, we have $24 million in extensions, and that doesn't include once we decline the options on Piscotty and Andrews. So we should have a lot of money to do something with in free agents. Now, there weren't a lot of great potential free agents. I mean, there are a couple of bats here. I mean, Nimmo wouldn't be bad if Trammell continues to kind of turn into a pumpkin. He wouldn't be a bad option to improve our outfield. We definitely need some help on the infield, and we definitely need some help pitching. I think our bullpen is okay, but I'm not spending big money on Kershaw or Evaldi. So, maybe down in this range, we can find someone who is a reasonable price. And we also have international amateurs coming up as well. So, guys, that's going to do it. Again, thank you so much for the support. First couple videos have been absolutely fantastic. I will talk to you all on Friday. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.